There's a pain you hide, a silent burden that steals your peace. It stems from your tireless fight against what has already happened. We live in an era of incessant search for control, where the mind yearns to mold every detail of existence. But what if true peace resided precisely in the opposite? In this encounter, we will unravel the illusion that imprisons and the freedom that flourishes in surrender, guiding you to a profound spiritual awakening. There is a silent suffering that permeates many hearts, a weariness that stems from the incessant attempt to control the uncontrollable. Perhaps you are going through a time where everything seems meaningless, an existential pain that echoes in the soul. It is the resistance to what has happened, a battle silently waged against the very current of life. But what would happen if we could, for an instant, let go of the ropes and allow the natural flow to guide us? This is an invitation to the profound spirituality that reveals itself when consciousness accepts what is, paving the way for genuine personal development. It's not about passivity, but about a lucidity that recognizes the dance between what we can influence and what we must embrace. There's a subtle force that moves us, an ancient belief that by controlling every nuance of life, we'll achieve peace. But, paradoxically, it's precisely in this incessant pursuit that anguish finds its fertile ground. The attempt to dominate the uncontrollable, be it the past, the future, others' emotions, or life circumstances, generates a silent suffering, an existential pain that manifests as blockage and exhaustion. As the wise Lao Tzu said, "He who tries to control fails." Life, in its essence, is a river that teaches effortless fluidity. How many times do we find ourselves rowing against the current, exhausted, only to discover that the desired shore doesn't move with our strength, but with surrender to the flow? This resistance is a trap, a veil that obscures the true consciousness of impermanence and the beauty of now. When we cling to the idea that everything must be under our command, we close the doors to the infinite possibilities that surrender offers and prevent our own spiritual awakening. Your body listens to everything your soul whispers. What if the pain that confuses you today is, in truth, a language from your soul trying to guide you to the freedom you so long for? And from this battle against the uncontrollable, we move to an even more audacious invitation, to confront head-on what we most avoid, our own shadows. In a world that preaches toxic positivity and the avoidance of pain, true spirituality invites us to an act of radical courage, that of feeling the undesirable. Superficiality often pushes us to vibrate high, to banish the negative, to think positive at all costs, as if discomfort and sadness were enemies to be silenced. But ancient wisdom, echoed in masters like Buddha, reminds us that suffering is an inherent part of existence, and that liberation lies not in escape, but in understanding. Not all pain is punishment. Some pains are teachers, deep invitations to introspection. Carl Jung, with his profound psychology of the soul, showed us that what we deny in ourselves, our shadow, continues to influence us, projecting itself into our reality and our relationships. The acceptance of negative emotions, instead of avoiding them, is an essential path to true awakening and lucidity. It's about stopping the fight against what you feel, recognizing that all healing begins with the acceptance of what hurts. Breathing with awareness is like opening the windows of the soul to the wind of presence. Instead of fleeing, we invite the emotion to sit with us, to be acknowledged, to have its story heard. It is in this space of welcoming, which Osho would call meditation as inner revolution, that alchemy happens, where pain transforms into teaching and confusion into clarity. It's not about liking what you feel, but about allowing life to manifest in its fullness, without masks, without shallow self-help or performative spiritualities. You are not broken, you are in transformation. This is the foundation for authentic personal development. And once we allow ourselves to feel fully, we discover that there is a space beyond pain, an emptiness that is, in fact, the womb of all creation. In the heart of contemplative spirituality resides a concept that, at first glance, may seem paradoxical: the fertile void. It's not about absence, but about a sacred space that manifests when we release the frantic need to fill every moment with noise, every thought with control. The fertile void is the womb of the invisible, the birthplace from which the deepest revelations and the reconnection with the essential self are born. Surrender, in this sense, is not an act of giving up or weakness, but of profound intelligence and wisdom, a conscious choice not to resist the intrinsic flow of existence. Like the vessel that only serves because it has empty space, our soul finds its full usefulness and its true consciousness when it empties itself of excess, of the need for control, of the incessant noise of the mind. Eckhart Tolle, master of presence, teaches us that it is in inner silence that we dissolve the ego and access a deeper dimension of existence. Silence, then, becomes a teacher, teaching the inner freedom that transcends external circumstances. It is in this silence that the universe listens to you, when you learn to listen to yourself. It is the door to the awakening of consciousness, where we understand that peace is not the absence of problems, but the unwavering presence of our being amidst them. The fertile void is the absence of noise, so that the soul can whisper its deepest truth. But this surrender, this dive into the fertile void, does not isolate us from the world. On the contrary, it propels us to a new way of interacting, to an ethics of presence that transforms every relationship. It is crucial to understand that radical acceptance is not synonymous with passivity or indifference. On the contrary, it invites us to an ethics of presence, where action does not arise from despair or resistance, but from clarity and conscious responsibility. This is the true essence of integrated personal development. The spirituality we seek does not distance us from the world, but compels us to act with lucidity, transforming our relationships and the environment around us. The fertile void of surrender prepares us for an action that is not forced, but organic, aligned with the silent wisdom that dwells within us. Think of Stoicism, which teaches us emotional lucidity and active acceptance of what we cannot change, focusing our energy on what is within our control, our response. It is like the mountain, which remains firm in its essence, but allows the wind to shape it and the water to nourish it. The acceptance of what is does not prevent us from seeking inner transformation, but empowers us to do so from a place of wholeness, authenticity, and free from reactivity. You are not broken. You are in inner transformation. The frequency of gratitude rewrites reality, not as a magic trick, but as a state of consciousness that alters our perception and, consequently, our action. It is not what happens outside, it is what vibrates within. Your biology responds to your spirituality. This deep integration between the inner and the outer is the path to personal development that reverberates in all spheres of life, cultivating a profound spiritual awakening in every interaction. And so, we arrive at a crucial point. The understanding that this ethics of presence and acceptance does not imprison us in a static peace, but propels us toward truly conscious action. Many seek a static peace, a tranquility that is confused with inaction, with simply observing the landscape without any active participation. However, true acceptance, that which nurtures a profound spiritual awakening, demands conscious action and active presence. This is the great paradox. By fully accepting what is, we are, in fact, impelled to act. But this action is not the fruit of resistance, fear, or lack, but rather of the clarity that emerges from consciousness and discernment. Staying still, merely looking at the landscape, will change nothing if this quietness is a disguised escape from evolution, a passivity disguised as evolution, as we warn. The soul is not in a hurry. It has rhythm, but a rhythm that invites movement and authentic expression. The seed blossoms in the dark, but needs water, earth, and sun to fully manifest. Acceptance is not about passively letting it happen, but about making it happen from a place of total presence and discernment. It is the difference between inaction and the lucidity that invites us to be conscious co-creators of our reality, cultivating a spirituality that manifests in daily action, in kindness with the present moment, and in the inner listening that guides us. Healing and expansion are possible even in the most challenging moments, when we allow ourselves the action that arises from acceptance. Don't chase the light. Become the lamp lit in the dark. May the seed that blossoms in the darkness of your soul be watered by kindness with the present and by the silent wisdom that emerges from your inner listening. Your body listens to everything your soul whispers. True inner transformation does not require battles, but rather the courage to let go and trust in the greater intelligence that permeates the universe. The soul is not in a hurry. It has rhythm. And what if the pain you feel today is, in fact, the portal to the life you've always sought? A silent invitation to your full spiritual awakening and to the blossoming of your most authentic consciousness? Symbolic practice. I invite you to an instant of conscious silence. Close your eyes, if comfortable. Feel your breath like a gentle wave that flows in and out. With each inhale, imagine that you embrace all that is, without judgment. With each exhale, visualize yourself letting go of the need to control, surrendering to the greater intelligence of the universe. Allow this breath to be the bridge between your deepest self and the vast presence that permeates everything. If something within you has calmed or awakened upon hearing these words, allow yourself to continue. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to walk with us along this road of fertile silence, discoveries, and reconnection. Share your experience in the comments. Your sharing is also a seed of healing for other hearts. And to continue expanding this field of presence, watch the video on the card. May it be a gentle breath on your journey. Peace and light.